Hi, my name's Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Animatic 2017 with Momo Kurumi. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. So how did you get started in the world of cosplay?
So I actually got started 10 years ago, 2007 SegoyCon. That was my first convention ever. Yeah, as you know, SegoyCon is kind of Segoy gone, unfortunately. But my very first cosplay ever was Sasuke from Naruto.
Yeah.
There are no photos of it. There is a video, though, so if you can find it, I won't deny it. But I didn't make that one. I actually bought it. So all my costumes I started off buying, and then eventually got into creating my own costumes. So that's what I do now.
Awesome. So you happen to work for Disney at points in your career as a cosplayer. What was it like working for them?
Working for Disney was definitely the most fun I've ever had. There's not been a job like it that I've done so far. You get to be a part of the show, as they say. Everyone, even if you work in stores, even if you're a custodial cast member, you're a part of the show. So, like, for example, I had a little girl tell me one time, like, oh, you can meet Anna and Elsa. Why can't you meet Kristoff from Frozen? And so, for those of you that don't know, Kristoff in the movie, he's an ice deliverer.
Right.
So I didn't want to be like, oh, well, we don't have that character here. I had to be a part of the story. So the story that I told her was, well, we have a lot of soda in the park. And for the soda, we need a lot of ice. So Kristoff is actually busy getting all the ice so that we can have all really cold drinks because it's really hot here. So that's why Kristoff is pretty busy. So you got to do stuff like that. Like, you know, if you were at any other place, you know, someone would be like, oh, why is this thing out of stock? You would just tell them, we don't have it. But at Disney, everything has a story. So, like, if a ride goes down, it's not down for maintenance. It's there's a wild bear on the loose and we have to catch it. Like, that's literally for Grizzly River Run. That's the story. So it was super fun working there because you get to be a storyteller and be a fun character, even if you're just a shopkeeper or working a ride or something.
That actually sounds really fun. So recently, back in December of 2016, you, time machine, you were Park Ranger Jessica Rabbit and got a lot of attention. What was it like to have your cosplay kind of go pretty much viral overnight?
It was really interesting. I was not expecting it because I actually started the creation of Jessica Rabbit in like 2014. I had some issues with the short, so I didn't finish it up until 2016, in which I wore it to WonderCon because it was on Easter weekend. And I really wanted to go meet Roger Rabbit, and he's out on Easter in Disneyland because WonderCon was literally neighbors with Disneyland. So I literally just like walked over there, and I got to go in the parks as Jessica Rabbit because it was an obscure enough outfit. Nobody really knew what it was. And so that was exciting. And I didn't really expect to get a response on that because it's such an obscure outfit. It's from Trail Mix-Up, which is a Roger Rabbit short. You can watch it on YouTube. That's how I saw it because I don't have the original movie, of course. But I posted the picture in like December, and it was a side-by-side of me and the image from the short. And I posted it at like midnight. So it was pretty late. I didn't expect anyone to even really see it. Yeah. And then I woke up and I was just like, oh my gosh, I have like 1,000 new followers literally overnight. And then it continued to snowball. On Instagram, it got trending on the pinup tag, and pinup is a really big tag on Instagram. So, and then all these other websites were posting it, and it was just this huge thing. So it was really cool. I had even people that I looked up to coming to me asking me like, how did you do that? Like, what's your secret? And I'm just like, I don't know. But it was fun, so.
Yeah, I actually saw that, and not knowing who you were, actually. Like, people were like, hey, check it out. I'm like, that's cool. Like, that's awesome. So you have started to do a Patreon for your work, and is it helping people with your sewing patterns? How's that going?
It's been going well. I'm trying to launch a new pattern every month. I'm behind like 1 month, I think, just because I've had a bunch of job interviews this month. So I'm going to like launch, hopefully this week, 2 patterns. Right now I'm doing like Magical Girl Mania, so everything is kind of Sailor Moon themed. I try and keep the terms generic though because, you know, copyright infringement. Technically you can't copyright a sailor collar, so I have like the sailor collar available on my Patreon as well as through Etsy now. Certain patterns I also sell through Etsy once I launch them on Patreon. So it's been a really great way to have people be able to make stuff using things that I already have around. Like, I already have the pattern done, and it's a tried and tested pattern. Obviously, I've made probably at this point like 20 sailor collars, And not just with that pattern. I've made so many sailor collars in the past few years that's like I finally found one that really works for me, so hopefully it works for other people too.
Alrighty, and you also happen to do the Moana cosplay. What was it like to do that, since all also features the characters of Hawaiian and Polynesian history and storytelling?
So Moana was really fun to portray because of her ethnic background in that Polynesian culture. I got to portray her before the movie came out, so I didn't know a whole lot about her. So I did all just sort of research, more about the character as well as more about her history and her background, such as Moana is Polynesian as well as Hawaiian for ocean or sea. So I learned that about her, and I did all this research to sort of understand the character more. I tried to get all the high-res images that I could at the time, incorporate some natural textures into the material, because that's obviously what it seemed that they were doing, was using, grass texture or shell beads, or her necklace is made out of wood beads, or, some other natural material. So I tried to make the costume as authentic as possible, but because I don't have any performance background in that style of dancing that she does in her cultural dancing, I didn't really want to do I think I had one person kind of had me pose as a hula dancing, and I'm just it's not really hula dancing, but because she has a specific style of dancing, of course. I forget what it's called. I don't think it's hula per se. That's more Hawaiian. She's a different culture than just Hawaii, but a lot of the Polynesian cultures do have similarities together. So I can understand why people call her Hawaiian, but she is sort of a mixture of different, Samoan culture, for example.
Which is also Polynesian,
right. So I don't want to go around and make her look like one of those little what are they called? Those things you put in your car where they just bounce around like that.
Hula girls.
The hula, the bouncy hula girl, and it's just she's not like that. So it was really interesting to learn too about the history of the Voyagers as well. So that was cool. So I want to make sure I portray Moana as respectfully as I can.
You're a big fan of Sailor Moon. With the relaunch of the show being Crystal, what's it like to cosplay? I didn't know you did more than one Sailor Moon. I didn't realize that till just recently, so I originally wrote Mars. But what was it like to do the whole cast of all the Sailor Scouts?
So far I've done Sailor Mars, Sailor Neptune, and Sailor Venus, and I've got Pluto and Chibi Moon in progress as well. I've got all of them in progress, but those are my next two that I'm doing. It's kind of my goal by the end of the year to have all of their outfits put together, because I don't know why, it just sounds really cool to be I've done all the Scouts, woo, and then, if anyone wants to do a Sailor Moon group, I can be I'll be whoever you don't have. I am flexible here.
I can just pack them all and we're good.
Right? And so I kind of want to go to a 5-day convention and do 2 Scouts a day and just cosplay all the Scouts at one convention. I think that would be amazing. But it was, I kind of got addicted to making them starting last year when I, was able to improve my skill, because I made my first sailor suit in 2013 to 2014, and that was Sailor Neptune. And I've since remade the whole thing. So it's been amazing to see how far I've come and make these beautiful costumes that people really admire, and they have such a classic look. I love portraying all of the Scouts.
I mean, me and John, we both love Sailor Moon along with one of our other cast members. So it's really nice because we kind of grew up with Sailor Moon ourselves. So we really like seeing that. So are there any other upcoming projects you want fans to know about at this time that they can potentially check out?
So one of my big projects that I have coming up that I'm hopefully going to finish before May, if possible, I'm going to take it to Anime St. Louis, where I'm also going to be guesting. I'm going to work on my first armor project, because that's something I've been wanting to do for years. And so right now the design is secret unless you follow me on Patreon. I'm going to be posting some progress pictures there. The reason for that is I am not really sure what I'm doing, so I kind of don't want to brag about it openly and then watch it be a disaster, and then people are disappointed, what happened to the armor? So my Patreon fans, they just get a little bit more of an intimate look at what I'm up to, because I've been cosplaying for 10 years, but even me, I have fears that things aren't going to work out. So rather than putting it on blast and all my other social media and maybe accidentally disappointing people because it doesn't work out, I do have it on Patreon, and they can, as well as ask me questions on the techniques I'm doing, they can also give me advice. I love getting advice from people, no matter who it is. If they have a nicer way to do something, I love getting that feedback, because especially in something like armor, no idea what I'm doing. So I've just been researching and watching videos. So that's going to be my next big project I'm working on.
Alrighty, and now is there any way for people to follow you online, as we talked about your Patreon, and do you want a final message to all your wonderful fans that have been helping you throughout this journey?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I do have a Facebook page. It's Momo Kurumi Cosplay, as well as my Instagram is Momo Kurumi Cosplay. I have Etsy for those of you that might be interested in those patterns. Like I said, just Google or you can URL etsy.com/shop/Momo Kurumi. Most of my social media is going to be under that name. Twitter is the only exception with like Kurumi Cosplay. I don't really use Twitter that much, but feel free to follow me anyways. So I just want to thank all my fans and all my cosplay friends as well, just for being a huge support system through these 10 years. Like, I've never imagined that, I would be able to make these things. I never thought I would get into sewing or get into crafting like I am now. I just liked drawing. That was my skill growing up. I wanted to be a cartoonist. And so now I kind of do get to be a cartoonist, but like I animate characters through clothes. So that's what I tell people anyways. So I just want to thank everyone for being amazing and supportive and so understanding and patient. Not only have they helped me be a better artist, they've helped me be a better person. They've taught me so much patience and diversity and understanding with other people. So thank you guys for that.
Thank you so much for coming out and talking with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was wonderful talking with you. So catch us next time. Woo!